to 369, yeah, he's got more than happy to take that, especially with Tian playing all the AP junglers plus the Ivern that he's just showed. That is a great pairing up with the Renekton.
Love to see some confidence levied at 369's way. He was like the one that started just blind picking the Renekton and finding just domination no matter what he was facing up against once that started to become a big prio here in the LPL. Want to see him have a bit of that here against Sheer. He already pretty much dominated Sheer in game number 1. We're going to see a bit of a pickup from one of the newest additions to JDG's roster. They go with the misfortune already, though, so maybe giving Ruler a bit more of a say in these fights. Not on the Jhin this time.
Yeah, I feel like there's a little bit more raw damage coming through. And a little bit more of team fighting power in the misfortune, as well as early to mid-game dominance that the champion is really known for. Kanavi, of course, with his infamous Lilia. I just want to comment right here that Neely has been almost permaban versus Kanavi for a lot of these games versus JDG. So if you guys were wondering, we do have Canyon at home. He's just not allowed to play the champion anymore because it's been banned out from him. Now, top esports are potentially looking for a mid lane or an AD carry for JackeyLove right here. We have seen a lot of the times that this Zeri does get pretty much shifted around the map, whether it's mid lane or that bot lane. I'm loving the Ivern right here. Honestly, it was so annoying to play against for JDG. I'll be more than happy to see it again in the hands of Tian.
I think it's also really interesting because JDG in the first game kind of kept the misfortune Lilia combo away by banning the Lilia. They wanted it this time. So that is a very lethal combo to have, as you don't proc the Lilting Lullaby sleep if you do get the bullet time over top of it. But you have to have an answer in these team fights because you're going to have so much strength for top esports when you have this Ivern. This now, I feel like, crucial pick that Tian can feel really confident on. The answer right now is the Gnar for JDG and for Sheer.
Loving the Gnar right here for Sheer as well, and I would love to keep an eye out for it during the game to see how Sheer pilots that lane. Gnar can very easily bully Renekton as well, but you're gonna play on the edge with Gnar, because if you do get caught in mini Gnar form, then it's a pretty favorable trade coming through for the Renekton. Now, JDG are definitely looking for a little bit more engaged in their kit. I would like to say things like the Alistar, the Rel, the Nautilus were really good to try and set up for the big Lilia and Misfortune ultimates to come through. Now, one thing we haven't necessarily pointed out yet is how Ezreal has completely made his way through this entire draft. And of course, the Zeri has been locked in for top esports, but that doesn't necessarily tell us where that Zeri is going yet.
And that's some of the draft stuff that you can play with now that we've really had a lot of fun watching some of our best teams play around with. It is heavy bot lane focus, though, for JDG. Try to pull away some pieces. Maybe make this Zeri go bot lane, but I highly doubt that. I think Creme's going to be perfectly fine on that one. What?
Hear me out. Lucian, what? Tristana, Corki, Zeri, all gone from the mid lane. Yagao only has one champion left if he wants to play AD carries, and that's pretty much Kai'Sa. Or, oh, well, I guess he could play towards an Ezreal, but
that's an
I'd rather see something maybe like a Yone that can engage. Oh, we get Yagao's Jace in that mid lane.
Really nice to give some poke damage to the initial setup that JDG are looking for. It's a little bit of an odd man out, but I'm really looking forward to Yagao pilot this one. Has been a very strong Jace in the past as well, but really, especially with that Tristana Jace meta, was the big thing in the LPL, I guess, as a whole. But here is the conversation, is what is the bot lane actually going to look like for top esports? It is the Ezreal right now for JackeyLove.
Banned out in game number 1. Now it's gone through the cracks, and JackeyLove is going to land that one onto that bot lane, which means Creme is going to be piloting that Zeri in the mid lane into that Jace. I feel like it was a very clever flex because you want to know what's going into that mid lane, and then you can flex the Zeri accordingly where it's less, where it's more safe for her to play through. And right here, I'm expecting to see a Rel, honestly, coming out missing. You need some setup for those fights. And sure, Gnar can be your frontline and you're engaged, but you need something that is more stable.
And while we are saying that we expect these pieces to go, like, there is still random room for some flexibility there, but we have seen Creme pick up this area most of the time, and then JackeyLove very big on the Ezreal. That Rel, it provides so much setup to get Kanavi in there, to get Yagao in there, to get Sheer in there, to make sure that Ruler can put down the damage. But honestly, if there's ever a spotlight to put on JDG, Ruler's going to be very happy with it on him for this game specifically.
Now, here's the thing, right? You mentioned how JDG just W keying forward. They've got so much engaged. They've got mega wombo combo ultimates to throw and pile up on top of each other. However, top esports are so slippery. The Ezreal, the Zeri, the Crocodile. Then you've got Ivan with a bunch of shields and heals later on. So slippery. It's going to have to be up to JDG to get into...
Have been indomitable. They are an 11-game win streak, a 5-series win streak already, and looking to make it a 6th. Can anybody stop them? JDG's chances start now. In the home arena, the home crowd in Beijing, JDG on the cusp of maybe losing their final series of the split. As we had already said coming into this one, though, JDG, they're locked in the second round of those playoffs no matter what. And that's going to be something that they need to pull themselves out of, and a little bit of momentum to finish off the split would help.
I'd love to put a little bit of a spotlight onto Creme as well, because he had a fantastic Lucian game in game number 1. That will be his 3rd Zeri game of the season. He's already 100% win rate with a 6.3 KDA onto Zeri. And I want to unfold the page of those AD carries in the mid lane for Creme as well. 3 games on Lucian, 100% win rate. 4 games now with the previous one as well, 8.7 KDA. And one of the most incredible win streaks, 16 game win streak on Tristana, 100% win rate in 16 games, 8.1 KDA. This man has been developing throughout the year, whether it's mage meta, but this particular one with the marksman has been suiting him so much. And it's always been a case of him evolving as a player. He's got 3 world champions pretty much around him. You need to step up when you're playing with players like this, and Creme has absolutely done that this season.
I think you look back to his time at OMG, he was kind of the main carry for a lot of those years, a lot of the dark horse years for that team. Obviously, they've all kind of scattered to the wind in some regards, but this Creme addition to top esports did come into question when you're looking at a track record of very veteran mids. This was a newer player that maybe hadn't been to the biggest stages just yet. And we saw some of that in spring, not necessarily being able to live up to the moments, but man, this summer split for Creme has been legendary.
And I can't wait to see what the likes of Creme and, well, specifically Creme, but like other mid laners as well in the LPL have to show up against all the greats of other regions as well. We're looking forward towards Worlds for top esports. Anything but Worlds would be a failure for their year, especially with the roster that they're fielding right here. The way they have been tearing apart LPL so far and heading, of course, further towards those playoffs. Anything but Worlds would not be great, as Tian is looking towards that bot side of the map.
Tian finishing his clear there, and he's going to make his move down on bot side. His level 4 already. Does get the CC chain on the ruler. He's going to burn the flash. Does not burn the barrier just yet. JDG make it out of the dive, but Tian and top esports staying proactive.
Missing very crucial Q hit onto JackeyLove. If JackeyLove was able to weave one more auto attack onto Ruler, you bet he was gonna flash forward for the kill. So very crucial block right there from Missing to save his AD carry's life. Great stuff right there from Tian as well, getting all those early game summer spells out of that JDG bot lane. One that actually managed to get ahead in game number 1. They had the 2 versus 2 kill down the bot lane. Yeah. And they did manage to pin down Meiko and JackeyLove for the time being in that game number 1. This time around, they're going to be missing their own summoners.
Let me see if they actually punish that down there as well. Decent CS differential will be closed out pretty quickly here, as both junglers going to be looking to get back onto the map. Kanavi is actually in tow for potentially looking a little bit more aggressive, as he could go for a double scuttle. Tian is going to be spotted, though, on the way out. Tian did show that he was willing to invade into Kanavi's jungle in the last game.
He's doing it again.
A ton.
He's doing it again right here. It's just so annoying. Has Meiko on the back as well. Kanavi might have to forfeit.
You don't have as much distance damage you can put down. You're not the Zyra this time, right? You don't have all your plants to help you out, and Kanavi does end up being forced out a little bit, doesn't contest him there, and still going to be in the advantage of the clear speed, as Sheer Have Mininar coming back up. Both junglers pathing up this way at least. And it is also the dragon coming up, which we didn't see taken until like 9 minutes in that game one.
Those Krugs are being pinged by both teams as well. Kanavi question mark pinged them. It's like, maybe there's an Iron there, maybe there's not. I think this was mostly for Sheer to make sure that he doesn't get dived as 369 is pressuring a wave and a half very aggressively underneath the tower. So this could potentially be pinging for danger since Sheer is Mininar form as well and had to commit his teleport. However, it's not going to be the case. They're just going to make sure that they leave Sheer towards the tops of the map, trying to take some control towards the ball. Meiko, a little bit too far forward, but it's fine.
If they knew he was there, I think he's in a lot of trouble there. But luckily, they had a lot of vision control for top esports.
Ruler is 2 levels down, and there's no summoners on that Misfortune. No, Flashless Misfortune walking up to these fights is a little bit scary. Again, Meiko and JackeyLove. I feel like there's been so much discussion about JackeyLove and having a veteran support right next to him, and now him and Meiko have pretty much shaped the way that they play through that bot lane, very aggressive, taking control. Most of the times, always ahead, taking the fight onto the likes of Elk and On as a very, very aggressive bot lane as well. And this has been in the making for quite a while, especially when they joined Top Esports together. Now Meiko
they actually find the 3v2 down here. Meiko ends up burning his flash, has to get the headbutt out, but he's still going down. One more auto. Somebody's got to do it. Maybe? No, it's not going to be the bounce, and Meiko makes it out alive. The veterancy of that bot lane. It's coming alive here. JackeyLove and Meiko, they are having one hell of a split. Might be our best bot lane in LPL.
That was so clutch. JackeyLove sidestepped towards JDG the second he saw the Q animation come out of Ruler, so he doesn't bounce onto Meiko. That is beautiful micro stuff coming out of the world champion AD carry of Top Esports as Tian and 369 are going to grab themselves 3 void grabs towards the top side of the map. And let's watch this one more time. Meiko sees that missing, is trying to clear out this ward, overextends a tiny bit. They don't expect Kanavi to be there, but a very beautiful headbutt to not get that slam down from Kanavi. And look at that sidestep from JackeyLove. The second he sees the Q, just steps just a little far forward, so Meiko doesn't get hit. Oh, Tian.
He's trying to take the right.
Please, man.
No. Daisy's coming out, but Kanavi's right here. The swirl seed is there. Tian has flash. Sheer's trying to get on the other side of the wall, but can't do it. Yagao is here. He's going to fat flash over the big area, and Daisy is able to get the CC down. My God, this man is disastrous for JDG's hopes and dreams. It is incredible what he's been able to do on this Ivor in these last 2 games.
That was the level 6 from Kanavi. Kanavi was going to his red buff to get his level 6.
No.
Tian marks the camp. He takes the buff. He gets the level 6 and uses Daisy to bail himself out. There were 4 members of JDG hunting him down, and he manages to get out. Now Kanavi hits that level 6 through 2 of his camps. That was so unfortunate.
Crazy. My goodness. Just take advantage of every moment you possibly can. But again, we were talking about bot lane for Top Esports, maybe one of the best in the league. But Tian has made his aim known as maybe the best in the league at jungle too. This guy has been everywhere all at once, and it's not the movie, because he's had a hell of a split. I think he's had a hell of a year for Top Esports, even though they've fallen short in the big moments. That choking conversation always comes up, but in this regular season, he has shown that if you can't put it up, if you can't keep up with him, you're going to be put down in the dirt very quickly.
And he has yet to evade the choking allegations, at least for summer, because we're not in playoffs yet. So we need to see it actually continue. However, you have mentioned the dominance. 11-0 is the win streak for Top Esports right now. And they do still seem very dominant. They've got a lead over down the bot side of the map. They've got a lead in the mid lane as well. You see the call in the inventory of Creme, looking to scale towards that late game, and he has been the name of the game for Top Esports. They're more than willing to take the early game fights. They do have a lot of those champions that do like to brawl the Ezreal with a bunch of Qs landing. You can definitely take an all-in, as we see a lot of back and forth with that bot lane. But when we're looking at late games, when you have the Ivor, you're looking towards that late game. You want the call, you want to be scaling, you want the 2 to 3 items at least onto your Ivor. W key forward any champion you see. And JDG, this time around though, Mazel, they do have a lot of tools, a lot of engage that can literally just pile on top of top esports, whoever overextends, and take them down. Talking about taking them down, 369 is on a big flank.
Oh, yeah, he wants Yagao. He wants his old buddy. He's like, come here, friend. We've had so many good times. Don't you want to come give me a hug? Come on. You want to come over here?
That was my mid laner.
Oh, man. Don't want to come over here and give some love? All right. Well, maybe Tian will give you a little bit of love here, and JackeyLove's going to ride on top of that one, missing, going down with the crash down, but it's still JackeyLove that takes down Yagao.
Threading through the needle right there. Tian gets the root, gets Meiko into the fight. The rest is history. Yagao ends up going down. 369 forced that. He's like, hey guys, look, that's my old mid laner. How about we say hello? That hello was not very friendly for the rest of top esports. 369 infiltrating JDG. Getting all the secrets from Yagao and getting him killed right there. Worked perfectly fine. All 369 right there. You see, he wraps around, pressures that top side of the map, wraps around, forces Yagao into the jungle. Look at bot lane, so much pressure through Tian and Meiko pushing into the jungle. Missing, trying to help Yagao, but Yagao ends up getting rooted and the full lock comes through.
Oh, man, able to get the chase down. Max this, and wait now, Kanavi, he's going down. He got the lilting lullaby off. Is it going to be enough? Yagao's fighting on a Creme, missing the only buffer here between the carries. Sheer was coming down, though, so top esports back away, but they already lost Kanavi for JDG, and that's a huge power point because Grubs are on the table. You're about to give over Grub again, and that's a mistake, just like in game one, that you cannot have happen.
And Kanavi lost his flash as well in this skirmish right there, so I'm not sure what happened. 2,000 gold down for JDG right now, and top esports are gonna get all 6 void grubs for themselves. They do have so much side lane pressure. You can have Ezreal, Zeri, Renekton, anyone you choose, you pick. You can have them on the side lane chipping down on those towers. Meiko?
Oh, he does end up getting the flash out, so that'll be not having a flash on Alistair. Definitely difficult to deal with, but still, he makes it out alive, keeps his body out on the map. Dragon finally going to be secured after all this time, potentially, by JDG, who are ramping down multiple members down that side of the map.
I mean, you're saying this. Meiko is joining the fray down the bot lane. Kanavi is off the dragon right now, so I don't think the dragon's going to go down that easily. And Kanavi gets spotted clear in a control ward, but this big cupcake lady...
Wait.
Oh, she was gone. She waved bye-bye. All right.
Bye-bye, Kanavi.
Bye-bye. Oh, that was the biggest BM
That's
ever.
That's the biggest BM I've ever seen.
She waves as it disappears. It's like, I'll let the rest take care of you.
That's actually incredible. That is actually incredible. It was just a bit of an overextension, though, from Kanavi, not respecting that distance that Tian can cover with the engages he can have. Now we're on first items for majority members of top esports. It's going to be very difficult to take advantage of them, and dragons aren't stacking in your favor. You're not having these long-term advantages that you can rely on for JDG.
Yeah, and I would honestly be so surprised if teams do not take stack of what's happening right here with the Ivern, because I feel like a lot of the pressure generated in the early game is purely through Tian being an absolute nuisance into Kanavi's jungle. A lot of the pressure generated by JDG is through this man in the jungle. He single-handedly almost won them the game versus BLG on that Kha'Zix. The solo kills, the invades, taking control, putting pressure. JDG is pretty much Kanavi generating pressure for them. So Tian making sure to shut him down back-to-back 2 games in a row has put JDG in a very weird situation where they have to pretty much make the plays for themselves. The ult?
They have missing over here. He's going to flash Shattering Strike, rather, and there you go. They pick off Creme. 369 has come in with the TP, but immediately needs to slice and dice to victory as he makes it out alive. And I'd say that's a victory in and of itself. Big pick off on a Creme, though.
And who was that generated by? Kanavi! The man was literally clearing his raptors and finds the orb through the wall onto Creme and generates the engage. Again, JDG need to find more avenues to be proactive on the map. I'd love to see Sheer leaving that top lane, pushing that wave, leave that top lane, try to be a little bit more active in the river. Missing as well. Has not necessarily been hitting the mark onto this rail. He's got all the engage in his hands. Now that the Bloodthirster is completed for Ruler, you'll see him start joining these fights as well as Tian is starting the rift trail towards the top side of the map. You'll see Kanavi and the rest of JDG, they don't want to take any part in those shenanigans. They don't necessarily have all of their items completed. Not Trinity Force onto Shears now. They're a little bit behind the pace right here, so they're going to lose yet another neutral objective.
Yeah, their big strength is in the team fights and setting up, getting Sheer in the wombo combo, and making sure Ruler's damage can stick. That's going to be weighted on just a bit. As Creme is the focus right now. Sheer does not have Mega Gnar, but he's just walking at him with the speed from the TP. And there's the CC combo by missing. Sheer cleans Creme up. Meanwhile, Gunslinger Fest in mid lane. Ruler taking a brunt of damage from JackeyLove. The True Shot Bro is going to go completely wide there, but top Esports, they're trying to push out a couple of these lanes on mid and top while JDG make a play on bot.
Love that. That's exactly the proactivity I was talking about. Pull down TPs, be willing to dive. Sheer just completed his Trinity Force. However, top Esports know exactly the numbers you have on the map. They see Sheer still down that bot lane. There's no reply up top to 369 pushing that tower. So you took a life, you took a tower. They'll take 2 towers. And most importantly, that mid lane tier 1 that opened up the map for them in game number 1, 369. Just having a sniff around to see if anyone dares walk into that crocodile. It's not going to be the case yet for JDG.
It looks like a bit of deja vu from that game number 1 where top Esports saw JDG's play and raised them a couple turrets. Now, it's not going to be the Rift Herald used just yet this time around, but we're going to see a TP back on a Creme.
This time it's Yagao!
They want to punish him. They know they need to come take this man out. A Shock Blast going to hit. Does he have enough damage to finish him off? Meiko's coming to try to save him, and Creme, he's making it out of here. Sheer needed to come over, missing, trying to collapse. Now Meiko's the focus, as they're going to get the lightning crash from Creme. He wants to follow this one up. Kanavi has come over, can't exactly hit the Lilting Lullaby there. There's Sheer, the big combo, and there's the Lilting Lullaby. JDG have brought top Esports down to their level and cut off their heads.
It's the same ward! It has not expired! How can you fall for the same ward? The same TP flank? Die, ward, die! Oh my god, top Esports! Creme overextends twice, gets punished, but the exact same ward, some life into this game. That's not deja vu. That's the second flank TP. This time it's not gonna be Sheer. It's Yagao onto these Jays. Can't not necessarily get the job done. However, he chunks down Creme enough that he can barely rejoin this fight. And by the time top Esports overextends, they know they cannot have their crocodile through the tops of the map. There is no TP right there.
Kanavi
Meiko
here too.
is completely split, and Kanavi with a very clutch Q engage right there into the ult to solidify the deal in this skirmish.
I'm so happy he was willing to just burn the flash for it. It was so juicy getting in between those 3 members there. But top Esports, they will still be strong, even though the gold lead is cut down to size here. They have to remember their team fighting is extremely strong. We saw it pulled off last game. JDG, they have their own strength, right? But they need to be able to execute on it. And so far, they've given so many of the map control over to top Esports, which honestly has been kind of the name of the game for this team. There's another dragon coming up in about 20 seconds. Top Esports going to try to catch somebody out beforehand.
Now here's the fun deal with top Esports. If they're even or slightly behind, you still have to be very, very scared of them because their team fighting looks very, very crisp lately. And right here, they are also playing a composition that does like to scale, does like to go into that late game. The more items you've got on the Ivern, you saw what Tian could do towards the end of game number 1. He was a very rock-solid sort of front line with the Daisy, with all the shields and heals that the champion can provide. And right here, top Esports, if they don't want to, they don't even have to actually group. They've got side lane pressure as well. Double AD carry, plus Renekton that's been ahead. You've got 6 Void Grabs. You do not have to group into the wombo combo of JDG. You can just generate pressure.
And you just have so much more consistent damage from Creme, where Yagao is going to need those big burst potentials that can be healed, that can be shielded by this composition that top Esports have. So that poke damage is not necessarily going to stick. We're really going to play on mid lane, though. Ruler is going to get a little bit of help from Sheer. He's in a bit of trouble. We got that Rift Herald playing top, but it's Ruler that buys a lot of time here, and they will end up taking down 369.
And that was a shutdown as well. Unfortunately, it goes to the side of missing. But most importantly, they do burn both summoners for Ruler right before the next dragon. It's not going to matter anyway. JDG do have the numbers. They're going to sneak that dragon away. And 369 overextending down that mid lane, losing his own flash and his life. Whilst Kanavi equalizes the score on the dragons. And JDG more than willing to bite back.
And that Seeker's Arm Guard giving a lot of confidence to Kanavi. He's going to be close to getting his boots completed as well. We did get second item redemption already completed for Tian, so the cheaper items already paying off dividends. And now maybe a little bit more scary is Creme. As Sheer recognizes that, starts to run away, gets slowed down by the Ultra Shock Laser, but does have the hop, skip, and a jump to get out. And Creme, top esports, they're representing bot side here, trying to push down this tier 2.
And look with how much self-agency Ezreal and Renekton have. They usually just leave them in a lane all alone. JackeyLove's gonna take that mid lane. 369 is taking top side of the map. Meiko and Tian have been primarily shadowing Creme on a side lane. With those void grabs that Zeri gets to push down super hard. This is 400 gold up, 2 items down. Cole has been cashed in, so she can bully up those towers from JDG. Once you deprive them off of towers and vision, then top esports can start advancing onto these neutral objectives and start taking team fights.
Just feels like JDG are starting to bleed a little bit here, and top esports smell it as they are continuing to wrap around. Daisy's going to tank up. Meiko goes forward here. The turret could be the focus, though, as Sheer about to have Meganar. Top esports get caught again. Maybe the hands and the winds shift over to JDG, but they are so strong. Their siege is so potent. They can heal, they can shield, they can go ahead and get the reset off and come back into the fight, while 369 is also taking mid lane.
Yeah, and all those bushes are so annoying as well.
TP.
You never know who's hiding where. The flank?
Oh, the TP was in mid lane by Sheer, but it's not going to be fast enough. Yagao is gone. Now the turret's the focus from Creme. Sheer is behind him, but the turret's gone. Now Sheer's by himself. The rest of JDG are running rampant over here trying to get to the team, but they just can't touch top esports.
Hey, it was a good idea. Just top esports was faster. The TP was too far off. Sheer was not there in time. It was also a min in our flank. And JDG have been more than willing to pull off this flank TP the entire game. We saw them work back to back on Creme, and they got themselves a bunch of kills through them. This time around, top esports were just faster on the play. And not only are they going to take that mid lane tower, bot lane tier 2, they're going to grab a kill for themselves as well as Yagao's flash. Reminder, 2.5 minutes. Next dragon will be up, and not having that flash on your crucial carries is going to be important. Now, Ruler, we see how he overextends, honestly, quite a lot right there. Luckily enough for him, his team sort of comes to his aid super fast right before top esports is about to flank around that topside jungle, and he gets away with his life and a kill.
And we see, after all is said and done, about 3,000 gold lead for top esports, being able to take down some of that standing gold in the turrets. But there is no turrets outside of their base for JDG, and that's not a position you want to be in against top esports, who have consistently, over this win streak, strangleholded teams and taken wins right from under their noses. JDG, they showed us so much grit, so much fight in that game number 1, a season, a split that has been one of redemption for this team, falling a little short. Now is the time to pick it up in your last game, potentially, of this Rumble stage.
I'm getting a little worried because Yagao is going to be getting stronger with that Jace, and the poke's going to be getting very strong. However, so many heals and shields from that Ivern are going to negate a bunch of the damage that's coming up front from the side of JDG. So I feel like for JDG, they're going to have to find that big wombo combo. Again, relying on finding the backline. Sheer with a great flank. Kanavi with a flash into the backline. You need to find Creme or JackeyLove if you want to have any chance of advancing into this team fight.
Oh, no.
Not again. Not again.
Oh, no. When we put so much focus on these veterans, on this gunslinging matchup between JackeyLove and Ruler, Ruler has been non-existent. And now we have to see, as top esports, pull off the Baron here.
And this is why the top lane, the mid lane tier 1 and tier 2 are so important. Now JDG are going to have to put up a fight 4 versus 5. Kanavi does have flash if he wants to go for the steal.
Down. They're going to try to just take down Meiko here. The Baron going over, missing steps up, but maybe overextends. Meiko didn't even go down in the end. Here comes Creme popping off at the lightning crash at top esports. Their momentum unstoppable. The wave of top has been impossible to deal with, and it's just continuing to dominate the top teams in our league. There doesn't seem to be a hope left for JDG to stop this unkillable beast of top esports.
11 games win streak, looking to make it 12. 5 series in a row, all have ended in a big fat W with a 2-0 score. And Top Esports looks so dominant right here. Let's see, Kanavi is trying to flank.
Oh, he's trying to get on the other side, missing, going down a little bit low. Big swirl seed into the lilting lullaby potentially here, but Kanavi, he doesn't have it, so there's no way out. Ruler going down, Ruler. He's got the barrier, he's still alive. Kanavi, I don't know if you can say the same. JackeyLove ends his life, but he'll trade him right back. It doesn't matter. Swarm has come into Summoner's Rift, and they take the mid-inhib turret.
Top Esports are looking so decisive right here. They know they have the wallets to back up the aggression, and then taking it straight onto JDG. Again, the W key forward we talked about. The second you see 2 items completed onto an Ivern, you see jumping, you just chase them down. You have more than enough damage to back it up with JackeyLove and Creme. Talking about this, 18 seconds for JackeyLove to come back up onto the Rift. JDG are recognizing this. They're going to pressure to take some objectives off the map, some bounties as well. Hold on.
Oh, big 3-man knockup from Meiko. Ruler is again just turned into a ghost. The man that used to be the difference maker, the man that used to be the name of JDG has now fallen. And Top Esports, they'll claim their rightful place as a team that you cannot underestimate. JackeyLove comes in to clear up Sheer, and the TPs will signal it all here, Trouble.
Top Esports are looking for the win. They still have the Baron. A lot of minutes are raining into the base, and only Kanavi to fight them all.
In this legendary matchup, there can only be one to come out on top. And in the last 6 months, in the last 7 months, it's been Top Esports that have had the better hand. And they will find domination again. They will find one last fight here to finish off the Nexus. And they will go 12-0 to finish out the regular season and rise themselves to a 6-win streak.
Top Esports, arguably the strongest team in the LPL currently, which makes playoffs that much more exciting to anticipate. Seeing the rematch versus BLG versus LNG, when this Top Esports shows up to play, is going to be so hype. And just a reminder right here, guys, that was a 6-1 game record of Top Esports going up against JDG. Now it's been widened to an 8-1 scoreline between the two teams throughout 2024. Top Esports have had JDG's number the entire year.
Yeah, I mean, JDG really only being able to claim their regular season victory over them in spring. That's the only thing they can really hold on to, which is not exactly what you'd want to say